So, let's begin. My name is Better, and my speech topic today is Connected as a Whole. I'm going to bring you the analysis of the international cycle of e-waste. So, to begin with, e-waste refers to disposed electronic product, and what's special about them is that they're mainly composed of metals. Among them are the valuable metals. Among them are the valuable metals. These valuable metals created a great amount of profit in the e-waste recycling industry. It's predicted that you can purify 3 grams of gold and 10 grams of silver in every 100 used phones. And in 2021 alone, there's 57.4 million tons of e-waste being produced, a weight that surpasses the weight of the Great Wall. As you can imagine, there's so much profit in the e-waste recycling industry that it actually created a trade cycle between the developed and developing countries, with the developed countries send those e-waste to the developing countries, and then the developing countries process those e-waste to obtain profit. However, just like this iceberg, under the great and obvious amount of e-waste, there coexist the hidden risks in the e-waste industry. This can also explain why is it the developing countries that process those e-waste. Because the developing countries, they're so eager for the profit that they just ignore the risks. Whereas the developed countries, they have strict regulations and they want to avoid the risks but still profit. The combination of the two resulted a lot of e-waste being shipped overseas and processed in the developing countries, along with the risks that contain within inside of them. One source of the risks come from air pollution, which deals with the emission of dioxin. When you try to obtain the metal inside the electronic product, the fastest way is to burn off the plastic covering, and in the process, dioxin is emitted. Dioxin is regarded as the toxic of the century, and it is 1,000 times more poisonous than the venom of the cobra snake. That is to say, if you consume 1 liquid drop of dioxin, there's no difference letting the snake bite you 1,000 times. Yeah, and actually, dioxin caused a lot of problems such as skin cancer and malformation. And one of the most severe examples of people being affected by dioxin is in an e-waste bunk in Ghana, where 90% of the people there didn't live beyond 25 years old, and 70% of the infants born there have natural-born diseases. Another source of risk comes from the land contamination, which deals with the leakage of the heavy metal. So when the e-waste is being disposed in one place for too long, it's going to leak down into the ground. And in a place in China called Guiyu, the chromium level in the ground is 1,338 times over the standard level. To understand how significant that figure is, we can use the help of an experiment. So when a little white mouse is given water that is 3 times overdose of chromium, it gradually develops lung cancer in 2 years. Theatrically speaking, if we make the dose 1,338 times, the mice would develop lung cancer in just 2 days. And that same applies to the humans. So you can imagine, a guy comes to Guiyu, he stays for 2 days, and he would have a great possibility to gain lung cancer. Now, since the developed world is being sent large quantities of e-waste and made to process them, it seems that they are the only ones suffering from the side effect of the e-waste. However, in reality, the developed countries are having a taste of their own medicine through another cycle. In this cycle, the developing countries send the products that are contaminated by e-waste back to the developed countries. One celebrated example of this is an experiment conducted by Dr. Jeffrey Weidenheimer. He wanted to see the influence of e-waste on the product produced, so what he did is he bought some jewelries made in the developing countries for his class to analyze and wanted to find out how the e-waste would influence those products. The result was distressing. The result shows that the jewelries contain significant amount of lead, mercury, and arsenate. Weidenheimer argued in a scientific paper that the proportions of these metals suggest that they are made from recycled computer parts. Since the developed world is being sent large quantities of e-waste, it's to be expected that those countries will make use of them in their manufacturing processes. Then the manufactured products are sent back to the developed countries, causing continuous harm to the people living there. Now, as you can see, the cycle showed at the beginning is not actually the full cycle. The truth should look like this. In the first cycle, the developed countries send the e-waste to the developing countries. And in the process of proceeding those e-waste, the contamination occurred in the developing countries. In the second half of the cycle, the developing countries send the products that are contaminated by e-waste back to the developed countries. And these products leak into the lives of the people living there and cause harm to them continuously. Now, it seems that we can draw the conclusion e-waste has caused the whole world to suffer. It is doing harm to the entire world. Nowadays, it's no longer possible to get rid of something by simply shipping it to other countries. We must work collaboratively for a better shared future. As the old saying goes, what goes around, comes around. Thank you.